Welcome, everybody. The Garden Club Federation of Massachusetts is presenting a program on garden therapy models and how you can start a program yourself and add to what you have. Was developed and presented by the Framingham Garden Club, and they have a great program that they will be sharing information about it with you tonight. The reason this came about was in 2023, the Framingham Garden Club was presented with 2 awards for its garden therapy program. And you can see they received the Mary Stone Garden Award from the New England Garden Club and the Ralph Davis Silver Bowl from the State Federation. These are for garden therapy programs and the outstanding program for that year. And we thought that this was such a great program that we wanted to share this information with clubs in the state to see if they wanted to develop their own program or come up with some new ideas that they may have for their current program.
I like that idea that you had about the back scratch too. It's not the audio isn't on, is it?
Kim, could we mute everybody first before?
Okay, hold on.
I was asked if people could mute themselves.
Let me see, I can just.
If you haven't been able to, could you please mute yourself?
Okay. Now we're going the wrong way.
Oops.
Wait a minute. Okay.
There we go back.
Okay, back on track.
Oh,
So,
there we are.
because the Framingham Club had a great program, we want to share that with you. And so this presentation tonight will be about how their program came about and the different methods that they use for their Garden Club Senior Program, and that this could be adapted and tailored to your club if you want to create a model program for either a senior facility or for other types of things, which will be explained during the course of the program. So, and even if you have a large or small club, there are ways to tailor a model program to your club using whatever number of people you have. And it would be a great community project, then ways to get your club members out into the community. Although this program is focused on seniors, there are other ways that you can make it work at a social, medical, or facility with other needs, and can be adapted to many settings, like a cancer support center or a pediatric center or any type of those things. So I will be turning this over to Marilyn Hanley and Pat Towell, they from the Framingham Garden Club, and they will be presenting how to give a little history of their program and how to set up a program in your things. They have developed a model which can be used for many different types of needs. Okay.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and Garden Club friends. I'm Marilyn Hanley of the Framingham Garden Club. I was in Boston yesterday and saw the most colorful, glorious tulips blooming outside Beth Israel Hospital. I was riding up to the 9th floor and I thought about this presentation tonight and how bringing the beauty of flowers like those tulips to people inside a hospital or other similar facilities is very healing. That's the essence of this new garden therapy program. So thanks for joining us as we roll out this new Garden Club Federation of Massachusetts garden therapy model. Pat and I hope to give you enough information to start a similar program in your own club and in your own community, and that you'll find it as rewarding to your members as we do. Our thanks to Federation officers Marjorie Deanhart, Kim Edwards, and Lisa Murray. for encouraging us to share our program and for your help adapting it as the new model. We also appreciate the support of our president, Marie Giorgetti, and Shannon Fitzpatrick for her photography in the presentation. Here's a little background on Framingham Garden Club's garden therapy program, or as we call it, senior classes. It's 32 years old. Oops, I have to just go back on the, sorry, Lisa. Okay. It started small and has grown a lot in the last 7 years when we started managing it. It started with a good foundation with some caring, creative members like past president Mary Hayden, who's shown here, who, by the way, still teaches classes. She's been doing it for 32 years. She and others have continually mentored and engaged members in our program. Mentoring is key. You might wonder what motivates our committee to sign up every year, and there's quite a few on this call. They believe that bringing nature and the outside to our assisted living seniors inside is healing. They feel it's a way to give back to the community. They make a lot of friends, and it's very creative seeing the seniors create their own unique designs. Here's some facts about our club. You can read the slides. I'm not going to go over every detail, but the objectives really are to enable our members to teach local seniors how to create floral arrangements and to contribute to our senior community. We're the co-chairs, Pat and I, and there are 28 dedicated committee members. We have an annual plan, a couple of classes a month between October, December, February, and April. And we provide flowers to 2 local assisted living facilities. And our budget is $300 a year, and the facilities reimburse our materials. So the results from our program are that the seniors continually ask for more classes and their attendance has increased. Our members tell us that they learn design skills and feel very positive about working with seniors. And the value is that the seniors leave our classes feeling very valued and proud, and they're proud of their floral arranging skills. And our model can be replicated by other clubs. Thank you. What can't be quantified is the passion our committee members have for the program and the joy they share. When our teams hit the classroom, it's like the Celtics hitting the court. It's a powerful experience for all. At our annual kickoff meeting, we hear fun stories like about the little lady who always says that she has the best designs, or the blind lady that tells us that she can't see the flowers, but she can smell them, and that makes her feel great. On this slide, while this heart of our program is our people, the core of our program is the design in the box method shown here. It started 4 years ago based on an urgent message we got from Michelle Drum, who's shown in one of the pictures. She's social director at Carmel Terrace. She wrote, during COVID, our residents have been isolated for months. Could you please figure out a way to bring your floral arrangement class back, even though you can't come into the facility? It would lift their spirits. So that was the birth of what I'm showing here. What we're showing here is the design in the box. That's our kit on the left. It contained everything that Michelle needed to teach the class herself. We gave her instructions and counted. You can see the little design. And then we continued and we delivered. That was one of our deliveries there. And you can see all the materials on the cart. And she pushed her cart into her classroom, and Pat and I left. We gave her quite a few design in the box programs for months, and eventually we taught the classes remotely by Zoom. For today, the Framingham Garden Club uses this method, and it makes it easier for our members to teach a class. So it's very valuable to us today. Thank you. So let's focus on the new garden therapy model for the Federation. These 2 slides, and you can see here, we're saying that you can print these out. because no matter, a lot of these slides have pictures in them and so on, but we wanted to give you a couple of summary slides that you can take back to your clubs. The first is the objectives, and Lisa kind of summarized that, but a little different than our club is to set up a program in your community to teach floral arrangement to people with not just seniors, but medical, physical, cognitive, or social needs. And that was something Lisa had come up with back when we were creating this model. We also want to expand your members' knowledge of floral design, because that's what we find that our members tell us that they learn too while they're teaching. And then create a positive learning experience for others in your community using Power of Flowers. There's a plan there. Not going to go over everything, but we have goals and committees and so on. And we do recommend that if you're going to do classes, do them in October, November, December, February, March, and April. For one thing, because of the weather, and other that, we often there's seasonal or holiday things that you can work with. And the committee, I would just say that do the continuous trainings important, that we recommend members to take back to basic classes or attend design programs. That training is important. And also we have the chairs really manage all the processes. So if you start a model, most likely you'll only have a chair, but they pretty much do everything and set up people for classes and so on. And there on the at the bottom is the budget, and that's pretty important when you're working on these programs, that you get reimbursed by the organization or the use of club funds. Thank you. How do you get started? We recommend that the board appoints a chair and funds a trial. The chair would develop a one-page plan for a trial with objectives, actions, and conduct the trial, and then get some people to support it. The process would involve scheduling and determining what floral arrangements that you would need. We would say your first class should have about 5 participants in it, and keep your floral design simple. Once you're done, communicate the results back to your board, as we did when we conducted a trial with the Heritage and members, and start to build awareness. And then when you're going to formulate your new project or your garden therapy model, follow your own approval process in your organization, as we do in Framingham. Thank you. And very important in setting up your your model is to set up your client facility. And what we would recommend is that the chair calls the social director or director at a senior center or a facility serving those with medical, social, physical, or cognitive needs. Briefly ask for a meeting, tell them what you're planning to do. In the initial meeting, describe what your goal is, that you want to set up a trial to see how feasible it is to teach the classes in their facility. Ask about their programs, get some of their ideas, and maybe even show a typical model. And schedule a first time, date, and room location. Just a little story. When we set up our first meeting several years ago with Michelle Drum, she requested flowers, lots of them, real flowers, not silk, mostly traditional arrangements. And she didn't want craft. She said, I can handle that, but we need you to teach the flowers. For her residents, she asked that we pace the class so that no one's left behind, no one's trying to catch up. She had seen that in other organizations, and she wanted to avoid that. And then most importantly, she asked that before the class, and a lot of our members do that on this call, you meet with her and find out if there are any special needs in the class, because then she can coach you as to how to work with the person. And it helps us when we're working with them. We do these practices today and they work really well. Thank you. So here we are preparing for a class. Kim said it, it always takes a team and it takes the skills, it takes their skills. So 2 weeks before our classes, the chair or the team leader will consult with 2 assistants and share ideas. They'll come up with a floral arrangement, buy containers, Oasis, maybe in Jacobson's in Boston or at the dollar store. Then 2 days before the class, your team meets at a market like Trader Joe's or the Boston wholesaler Quinlan Wasserman, which is the picture here. They're best for getting large quantities of the same flowers, best prices, and flowers that last longer. Then the team decides what they want to do when they're in the market based on the availability of flowers that day. The next bullet, the third, is really about a formula. As we're in the market, we quantify our materials. In the case of the trial, you would come up with 7 arrangements, 1 model, 1 demo during the class, and 5 participants. And you do you multiply your flowers by what you need. So buying flowers for New England, for Framingham Garden Club is always an eye opener for members. At 7 a.m., this group grabbed their cups of joe and with Suzanne at the wheel made record time on the Mass Pike, beating traffic and buying hundreds of flowers, as you can see here, for a class of 15. The value of working together as a team is that all members' ideas are included, and using the formula that we do in the market helps us manage our budget. We don't overbuy, and we also have enough flowers for the class. Next, we prepare flowers at home the morning of the class. So you can see here, the chair or the team leader, in this case, this was Andy Sari, that was a design she and Nancy were working on. They're cutting flowers for a class. And I would just say, if you look at both of these, that our cutting, counting, and sorting process could easily resemble the conveyor belt scene in I Love Lucy's Chocolate Factory episode. Here's Nancy and Andy cutting their roses, and these other members, Sally and Joyce, were able to keep up their pace, counting and sorting, when Lucy and Ethel could not. And they were proud of it. You can see the value of this method is there's enough flowers for the class, and that they can be efficiently distributed in the step-by-step methodology. Next slide, please. Okay, and here we are, a couple of groups getting ready for a couple of classes. On the left, it's the Heritage, and on the right is Carmel Terrace. I think you can see the amount of materials we're about to start to work with and the number of people. One class on the left was for 12 to 15 arrangements, and the other one on the right was, I think, about 12. The team starts sorting the materials about a half hour before and starts building enthusiasm. The 2 themes you can see here are pumpkins for Halloween, and then we had some St. Patrick's Day themes. And you can see everyone was all ready. And thank you to Lisa for attending that class. We really appreciated you being there. And so now the next slide. All right, so we put a mock class together to show you what design in the box teaching looks like. And Pat's gonna take it from here. Pat, do you wanna thank the people who participated? And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Marilyn. I'd like to welcome all of the Framingham Garden Club members who are with us tonight, and also all the guests from many of the other garden clubs. We're delighted to share our garden therapy slides, and we hope you'll find it beneficial when and if you decide to do a garden therapy program. My presentation will include how to set up a mock trial model and the steps taken in presenting a design in the box. In order to show you a model, we set up a mock trial, and one of our members graciously offered her family room for our class. We invited one of our members to take pictures, that was Shannon, and during the presentation, we had 5 members who you'll see in a in a minute, became participants during the class. The first step in the class is to make sure you arrive at least a half an hour before the class to set up your room. In our mock class, we used 2 very long tables with the members facing each other. We found this is important. A table for the team member facing them and 2 tables in the back for our materials. This is actually an ideal situation, but it's not always available at a nursing home or assisted facility. We also provide lazy Susans for each resident, and we make sure that there are scissors available. Another very important part of the class is the social director prints the names of the members, and they're visible in front of them, so we can call them by name. Next, thank you. So here's our room, and you can see how beautiful it is. In the bottom slide, you can see how the participants are seated. So on the left, we have Aparna and Peg Homburg. On the right, we have Suzanne, Pam Keeney, whose lovely home this is, and Margaret Kelly, Meg Kelly, and I'm in the middle there. You can see on the back, there are tables for our materials. At the top of the slide, oh, can you just go back for 1 second? On the top slide, you can see the design that we're going to be using that day, teaching that day. If you don't have room for the tables, you can always keep your flowers in boxes. And next, I think on my teaching the class step by step. Normally, in a class, the social director would introduce the team leader, who would then introduce the members assisting. This is a good way to develop a personal connection with the residents. And we often give a little bit of a background about ourselves, such as how long we've been teaching there or how many times we've been to this particular facility. Even during the last 2 months, we've started our program with a poem for the month. And this is another way just to get them ready and enthused. Next. Being the team leader, wait a minute, did we skip one?
Step by step.
Yeah, the next one is, okay, I'll read this anyways. Being the team leader, I explained the traditional design and named all the greens and flowers that we'd be using. And we found that by teaching a class using a traditional design, it has many benefits. It encourages our members who are not designers to participate. It's also an easy way to teach a step-by-step design. It's presented in an orderly, slow-paced process. Even though the lesson is taught this way, the residents are able to add their own creativity in the design. And this slide shows the role of the assistant and the team leader. I think we skipped one. This particular slide is a summary of the step-by-step that we use in the design in the box. It gives you all the information. And this one also can be printed out for later use. We found it's very important, again, to have enough flowers and greens for our class.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure what we skipped, but
Next one, thank you.
not this. All right,
There we are.
Yeah,
is this it? Okay.
okay.
There you go, on the same.
Yes, we're on track now.
Okay.
If you look at the slide on the right, you'll see how the leather leaf has been placed all around the container for us to cover the oasis. And the slide on the left shows me placing the tall green greens in the center. And this we use to establish the height of this particular arrangement. And next. This particular slide explains how the primary flower is placed in the design with the tall red carnation at the center, followed by 4 or 5 around the center. We chose carnations because they fill in the space and are reasonably priced and are long lasting. When picking your greens and flowers, keep this in mind. And here is Marilyn encouraging a placement of one of the flowers. Next. And this one shows the red carnations.
Secondary.
Okay. For the secondary flower, we use clusters of white mini carnations as they make wonderful fillers, and they also add texture to the design. The top slide shows me placing the white carnations in between the red ones. It's also helpful to remind the residents to use their lazy Susans to find the spaces that they may have missed when they're working with their flowers. These slides are about fillers. When the next two slides actually are about fillers, you probably have heard the terms filler, thriller, and fillers in container gardens. The next two slides show the types of fillers we chose for the design. I love using the mini asters because they have lots of added greens along the stem and they make wonderful fillers. The next slide shows the filler of Hypericum, which we also found was a great accent filler. It adds contrasting or complementary colors. It gives you volume and fills space and adds texture. We often hand out any extra greens or flowers to fill in any spaces within the design. The Lazy Susan is a helpful tool for your class. It's also a wonderful investment for your program, especially if you decide to make your program long-lasting. Our members love using them and our residents do also. Next. When the arrangement is finished, completed, we always conclude the class by passing out a novelty item that can be placed wherever the participants choose or find desirable. These novelty items always bring a smile of delight, and it's a fun way to complete the design. These items are often based on a seasonal theme. And the last slide is to sit back and admire the results. We usually clap for the residents. We also inform them of the upcoming classes just to build more enthusiasm and rapport. And during this time, we also have the residents recognize and admire their own creativity. And you can see each design is very different and beautiful. So how do you assess your trial and create a plan? First, you want to evaluate the enthusiasm of your participants. The team leader will meet briefly with the social director for feedback. Here's some questions you might want to use to assess the value. Did we meet the needs of the residents? Did we enhance their learning? Do they want another class? Are the residents comfortable in their own creativity while designing? And the important one, what is the budget? Once the social director has confirmed the need for a class, the chair prepares a plan, meets with the board members, schedules classes, and provides a sign-up for members to participate. This is kind of important. We've changed this over the last 2 years. On our sign-up sheet, we first put the date, the time, and the facility because we are working in 2 different facilities. This year, we added at the top a line for the team leader to sign up. And under that, we've added 2 or 3 lines for assistance. We found that if we have our team leader first, that's important. And then the assistants are easy to fill in. And the last is keys to success, which Marilyn has mentioned, I think in the beginning, having a kickoff meeting, becoming aware from the club members, the training, the funding, the designs, and the value is the members create an uplifting floral experience and they get more than they give. And we found that out. And the last one, I think it's the last one, is the samples. And you can see from the samples, the designs are basically traditional with many flowers in place. We have used a variety of containers, especially for the theme classes, as you see the leprechaun hat in the middle. Recently, I taught a class using teacups, which the members thoroughly enjoyed, as they were able to select their own teacups as they came into the room. I actually had 20 teacups we prepared for a class of 15. I offered the two men in the class an alternative container, but they both were more than comfortable with the teacups. One man was actually designing his for his wife. The second other design, which I'm sorry we don't have pictures of these, was a wreath decorating class, and this was led by Andy Sari. I was anxious to participate in this class to watch how the team leader prepared for this class. Instead of the usual cutting and preparing the flowers a day ahead of time, her team wired all the ribbons, all the artificial berries, and the pine cones. The residents were able to select and place all of their personal choices. And if they needed help, which many of them didn't, we were able to assist them with the wiring. The beauty of this class, where there were lots of decision-making and no glue was needed for securing any of the items. And they were very pleased because these residents had apartments with doors that led into a entranceway so people could notice their beautiful wreaths. And thank you. That's my little part.
Thank you, Pat.
Okay, is this back to me? I think this is me. To summarize, I appreciate Pat and Marilyn putting this whole model program together. This really is designed to just give you an overview of a program that is currently running. It's been very successful for a long time. Can be also adapted to what your club's needs are. And if you are in a smaller club and think, oh, we don't have the budget, or we don't have the people for this, it's also something that could be used as a collaborative with other clubs in your area. If you have a facility in one town that may serve many people or residents from other towns, it's something that clubs could group together and maybe alternate months to do a program, which would reduce budgets, and it would also get your club members into the community and building new relationships with people in the community, whether it's a senior facility, a medical, other type of facility, or a cancer support center, or a pediatric facility, or whatever types of things, even at a senior center, like doing a workshop. So the goals would be to, look at what Framingham has done and apply something to your club that would be able to bring a value to the residents and also to your club members, because it's something that your club members can learn about flower design. If your club doesn't do a lot of flower designing, these are very simple designs that could be recreated, and it gives a lot of value to the members for actually being able to teach others too, that the skills that they've learned. One thing to note is, if you are doing photos, to make sure you get photo permissions, or to just take photos of the flowers. If you want further information, you can see on the, there's contact information here. And I think that's, so this was done through the state, but for the benefit of all the clubs out there, that we want to try to bring garden therapy to develop more programs on this, or even do some like regional programs. I'm gonna turn off the screen share, so then you can all unmute yourselves now if you have questions, or if you want to turn your camera on, that's fine too. And we'll be happy to do any questions. And I appreciate Marilyn and Pat putting this together, and Shannon for the photography, and all the great people from Framingham who showed up to cheer them on tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
If you have questions for Marilyn, for either of these ladies, please put it in your chat, or just, you can speak out because you have your mute button on, off now. Any questions?
We do garden therapy in Tewksbury, and we do it in 2 places, at Blair House, 2 living places. And my question is, what your budget is, out of curiosity, for your arrangements? Because we've been trying to build the budget. We have a very limited budget. We have 10 people at one facility and 15 at the other. And our budget is $30 for each facility, and it gets tough.
So is that 30 for how many people?
15 at one place and 10 another.
Okay, so when we started, we were at $60 for 10 people. And eventually they saw the value of the program. I think we're calculating about $10 per arrangement that we get reimbursed by the facility. So we're
Okay.
so we're saying to them that especially the newer facility, that they say they want to cover their expenses. In both cases, the administration of both facilities is very high on the program. So the people who are the social directors don't seem to have a problem trying to get at least $10 per arrangement.
Okay.
And so maybe even getting these administrators more aware of it is a good thing.
I think they're very aware. As a matter of fact, at one facility, they go every other month because of the financial constraints. And the group that does the group of 15, we decided that the ladies were so happy that we wanted to do it every month.
Oh,
So right now, it's a big problem in my board that one group does it every month and one group does it every month and every other month. And I'm trying to say, well, if we could increase funding, maybe they would do it every month. So that's where we are as a board. And I'm just trying to figure out new inventive ways of getting funding.
Well, a note on funding, Pat and Marilyn, if I can jump in. There are other funding sources out there. There are, in some cases, your town might have a local cultural council, which may be able to provide a grant for such a program. There are a lot of grant monies available. Or you could check even with the facility itself. They may have grants to fund social type programs or programs. And that's also where collaborating with another club may help, because if you want to do it every month, but maybe you could swap off with another club, and that would reduce your budgets. Another thing to look at is potential donations, either to advertise in such a way to put it out that your club is doing this type of program, and either look at public, or if there are relatives of people that are in the facilities. If it's a residential facility, maybe they would, the participants are telling their relatives, oh, we have this great program, but they're funding or something to that effect. But grants are a definite way to try to pursue them, because there's a lot of cultural councils out there that are looking for this type of program to fund. So it's a way to.
We do have a cultural one, and you just reminded me also that the church has one for outreach in the community too, that I could probably go through. So those are two good suggestions. Thank you.
Yeah, there's money out there if you can find it. So
good luck.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any questions, thoughts?
all right, well, you ladies did such a great job that you covered all the questions, but if there are questions that you think of later, you can certainly contact either through the Federation email, or this program will be up on the GCFM website, so the contact information will be there. So,
And I'd like to thank everybody for this enjoyable night, and hope you've all learned something and had some great sharing and knowledge experience. Thank you for coming, and look forward to seeing you at our next webinar, which will be the Junior Garden Clubs on May 9th. So if you're part of a Junior Garden Club, The next webinar will be the 9th of June, and that'll, excuse me, the 9th of May at 7 o'clock. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
everybody,
you.
for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Great job, ladies.
Yes.
Thanks a
Thank you,
lot,
Kim.
Kim.
Thank you,
Thank you
Lisa.
for your support and Lisa.